I am chuffed to welcome a bit of a hero of mine. I didn't know he was the new boy at Power FM. I didn't know that about him. I do know he's been entertaining on Radio 1 constantly since I've been listening to it in the last few years. He's been on it for 25 years, I think, now. What?
Not 25.
All right, well, 20. He's been nominated in the Best Entertainment Production category for the inaugural ARIA Awards, which we know, you know, Gore Vidal says, every time a friend of mine succeeds, a little bit of me dies. And everyone wanted to be nominated, and very few of us were, but he was. He's a disruptive person. I've got examples I can give you, but we're overrunning. Why don't we just give an uproarious welcome to a man who's disruptive every day, the fabulous Radio 1 man, Scott Mills. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for coming. Thank God you're here.
Did you like those? It's not 25, might be 20. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Scott Mills. I am on BBC Radio 1 and I'm the current afternoon presenter. I have worked in radio before Radio 1 for many years, since 1990, when I was the youngest commercial radio presenter at that time at the age of 16, full-time presenter. When you've been on for that long, and it's a long time now, I sometimes forget how long it is, the challenge for me is to kind of constantly find new ways to keep the show fresh and entertaining and relevant to the audience that I'm speaking to. And from the outset of my career, as you're about to hear, I have always tried to be really different. Here's a clip of me back in the day when everything was black and white in Key 103, Manchester.
Good morning, this is Scott Mills. Welcome to Tuesday morning Q103 weather. Mainly cloudy today with some light showers and occasional sunny spells. Not many though. This afternoon will stay cloudy, mostly dry, maybe some sunny spells and some rain creeping in towards the evening. 15 Celsius, 59 Fahrenheit today's top temperature. And on your FM dial, it's locked to 103.
So, there I sound like every other commercial DJ in 1994. I'll be honest, disrupting wasn't really my thing back in those days. I was quite shy. I was one of those kind of keep your head down people. It was all about that and kind of keeping my job, really, with various program controllers. And that was the kind of radio that I knew back then. That's what everyone did. I think the personality was fairly sparse in those days, apart from the BBC. And all that was really required, and Stephanie will back this up, was tell the time, do the weather, and let the listeners know that Simply Red are next on your better music mix. So for years, really, I only talked over intros of songs that were about, 20 to 30 seconds, if you're lucky, and spoke to callers for about 5 seconds. So when you get your dream job at Radio 1 and you meet the first producer you've ever had, they say to you, so what would you like to do on the show then? And it's like you're given a blank page that says ideas at the top and nothing else. And I'll be honest, when my producer asked me that question, I didn't know the answer. It took me a very long time to kind of find myself on air and be comfortable with relaying my real personality. And I would say that I only truly found that when I got to Radio 1. If I was to go step by step through the process of how I found myself, you'd be really bored, and we don't have long. So I'd kind of like to focus on where I am now. As well as me and my team trying to think up new ideas on a daily basis, we're in a very fortunate position at Radio 1 where we have access to some amazing guests. Everybody from Will Smith to Rihanna are going through the doors every day, Mark Wahlberg, Britney Spears, whether it's to play their new single or promote their book or film or just spit on them on Innuendo Bingo. I'll be honest, I used to find guest interviews nerve-wracking. For years, they used to send me cold. And what we do when trying to interview these big guests is try and avoid the most obvious question and look for the one that will really kind of cut through and maybe you'll get an answer that you haven't heard before anywhere else, because so many people get the same kinds of guests now. They're on all the chat shows, every radio station, all over YouTube, and you can find they repeat. So you want to find the bit which makes your show stand out and, it could be press-worthy and hopefully disrupt their promo trail just a little bit. A famous example of this is when I sent Chris Stark, who works on my show, to do an interview with Hollywood A-lister Mila Kunis.
How quickly can you neck a pint?
Oh, pretty fast. I used to bartend.
I can also pour a pint with no foam. What? You
Serious?
didn't know that about me, did you?
You should work behind, like at the football club, behind the. That would be epic.
Do you think?
I should get back to the proper.
Why?
questions.
This is such a better conversation.
Are you serious? My mate Dicko
There we go.
is my mate Dicko is he's getting married soon,
Oh, good for
and
him.
he did say I could get like a +1 to his wedding.
Yeah.
And now I think about it, I'm not going to get many more chances to
You
do
would
this.
have asked me to go with you to this wedding?
I'm just wondering, and
Well, I've gone to a marine ball, so what's another?
this is what I heard. So I
yeah.
thought
Apparently, I
I'd
just say yes
ask.
to everything.
Have you ever? I don't know if I should. Have you ever dropped trout at a wedding? Like this is what because we
Dropped
were
trout?
talking about this. No, we dropped trout, and what it is it's just where I don't know if you do this in America. It might just be a UK thing, but we put on Baywatch and we just take all our clothes off and dance around.
Wow. Now, I know a lot of you have probably experienced some spiky Hollywood film companies being very overprotective and, you know, quite difficult when it comes to their Hollywood stars. They just want you to ask questions about the film, and if you don't, you will get the famous death stare. But I do find that sometimes when you do disrupt something, it can make it better, and it gathers a lot more interest. Rather than there asking Mila Kunis what the film was like, or, you know, what were your co-stars like, he asked those questions. The film company hated it completely at the time. If you watch the full video, you can hear the publicist going, "Get back to the film." But when he started being interviewed on CNN and E! News in America, they changed their tune a little bit. 14 million viewers on YouTube also felt the same way. However, disruption, I think, is all about trust also. After that interview with Mila, it seemed to kind of open us up with access to much bigger stars. With each star we get, I think it's not trying to kind of out-wacky the previous interview, but to kind of aim to avoid the really obvious. There's no point disrupting for the sake of it, and there's certainly no need to be mean. If I listen back to some of the stuff we did maybe on the show 6 or 7 years ago and compared it to now, at its worst, I think some of it, if I'm honest, can seem a little bit nasty. But as you can see from the success of shows like The Great British Bake Off and Strictly, people love warm. Even The X Factor, if you compare it now to what it was then, it's pretty tame. It's all done in a fairly good-natured way. Also, remember, it doesn't have to be a huge viral hit either. A good interview that cuts through on radio is down to your careful choice of questions. Now, while preparing for this, I went through some of my favourite interviews from the past. This is not me about to play my favourite bits of me. I just kind of wanted to mix it up a bit. So I thought we'd try something a bit new. I asked my team to pick their favourite questions that I've asked people in the past. And I'm now going to attempt to answer these questions that I asked the famouses. It only seems fair after all these years. Please, may I welcome, to ask me these questions, friend of the show and personal friend, Caroline Flack.
I'm glad I'm not doing that.
Have a seat on these kinky chairs.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, hi.
You ready for this?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
So these are questions that I've asked famous people over the years.
Okay, Scott. In July, at the final of Euro 2016 between France and Portugal, you asked David Guetta, would you be prepared to travel economy class for the rest of your life on trains and planes if I could guarantee you that France will win tonight?
Did I ask him that?
Yes.
Well, seeing as I had to get the Gatwick Express bus replacement service yesterday, yes, I would.
Would you?
Yes.
When was the last time you got the tube?
Today?
Really?
No, yesterday.
When was the last time you got an actual bus? An actual
The
bus?
bus replacement one, yesterday. Next
What-
question.
Okay, fine. I don't believe you at all. Okay. Troye Sivan joined you on the Radio Breakfast Show back in April, and you asked him, you said before that you share everything with the internet. Is that still the same? Or do you keep a little bit back? What don't you share?
Do you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and this goes back to what I was saying about sharing your life on the radio. I'm quite bad at sharing my life on the internet. I don't do it as much as I should. It's mostly just kind of show stuff and, you know, oh, here's our guest and blah, blah, blah. But I rarely remember to take pictures of funny things and put them on. I need to get better at it, so there's a lot I don't share.
Do you take selfies?
Not very often.
Have you ever taken a selfie?
Yes.
And put it on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's something I need to get better at.
Okay. Would you ever say, oh, I'm having a bad day?
Not often.
No, okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit bad at it.
Okay. In December last year, you asked Hollywood A-lister and actor extraordinaire Eddie Redmayne this. Do you and your wife ever just sit and watch real trash TV?
Don't know if you have heard, I don't have a wife.
Okay, fine.
But I love trash TV. My favourite being Love Island.
Woohoo!
Sorry for calling it trash.
Right, no?
Next question.
3 years ago, you sat down with Chloe Grace Moretz and asked her, do you do all your own stunts?
Well, I drive the desk every day and
Do you?
try not to crash the vocal. Yeah, do you not?
No?
Oh, okay.
Did you do all your own stunts on Strictly? I'm going to guess yes.
Do you know, I really wanted them to fire me out of a cannon like Russell Grant, but I never got that far. I think that was going to happen in like if I'd stayed a couple of more weeks.
But you did get to dress up as a lobster.
Yes,
That
I did.
was you, right?
That was
okay,
me,
good.
yes.
Finally, back at Radio 1's Big Weekend in 2011, you asked Lady Gaga, how often do you look yourself up on the internet?
Oh, God. Probably more than I should.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you just put your name in and see what's going on?
Do you know what I look for the bad photos?
Do you ever put your name into Twitter?
No. I think that's
That's the
weird.
worst, yeah,
No,
don't
I
do it.
don't do that because if you're putting your name into Twitter and they haven't added you, they're normally slagging you off. Because they're like, oh, I'm going to slag them off, but I'm going to be so kind as to not at them so they think they won't see it. But if you search your name, it's a bad idea.
That's your 5 questions.
Thank you. I know I've been doing this a long time to know when to wrap it up. So thank you, Caroline Flack. Thank you. Thanks, my love. Thank you. Okay, right. Next, I think we should, we'll give quite a little game for you to finish. The thing is about India Bingo, I think if you are, listening in your car with younger members of your family, they can be laughing at 18+ content, but really, it's the most PG thing in the world. If you don't know about India Bingo, it's a game that we devised about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's just clips that sound rude but actually aren't, from various bits of radio and TV. 2 people sit in chairs like that with a bin, and they just kind of spit water over each other. People really like it. I don't realise that Chris spitting water over Will Ferrell would mean that the biggest names then would want to play the game. But I think that's what happened with this. The cameras got better. You can watch it in 360 now. The celebrities have got a lot better, and it's even got its own iPlayer program. It's kind of nestled in between Bake Off and Poldark, which is good. I think there are lots of visual features that don't work on the radio, but India Bingo works, I think, both on the radio and on TV. And most importantly, it's inclusive and a bit offensive. I think it's kind of the closest to the bone that I can get on daytime national radio. So we're going to round off with a quick game of India Bingo. If you're not familiar with it, this is the trailer from where we brought it back on air after a 3-month rest earlier this year.
I do really like your meatballs.
Are you going with anyone special, or are you just going to go down on yourself?
Well, my tulip's a bit limp, but what can you do?
So you're about to experience it live. To play the game, I would like to invite on stage the man who plays this game twice a week with various famous people like you just seen, Chris Stark, and Radio 1's very own Adele Roberts, everybody. Hi, guys. Take a seat by the bin.
Thank you.
Oh, Christmas means you've got to do it 3 times this week. You wearing?
I've just been handed this.
Maybe cover yourself with it. We haven't got time.
Okay.
Play along. If you want to play along in your seat, go for it if you've got some water. Maybe warn the person in front of you. Okay, ready, guys?
Ready.
Ready?
Here's India Bingo at the Radio Festival. Okay. I never thought we'd be doing this in the British Library. This is great. Okay, let's go over to the daytime show, The Link, on BBC One. Now, I'm not very good at quizzes, but let's see if any of you can work out the connection here.
Yes.
Good. Gander. Jack. Cock. Gobbler. Cock. Gobbler.
If anyone can get the connection there. What was the connection? Like a bird, something. Okay. Water, please. Next, it's Caroline Martin. God bless her, on BBC West Midlands.
That's Phil Collins and Philip Bailey, Easy Lover. It's BBC WM 95.6. Do you know what? We've just had excitement in the studio. My light bulbs went. I've just had three men come in to change or to put the power back on. I'm going to blow them every day if I get those three back again, I tell you. It's cheery. I'm going to blow them every day if I get those three back again, I tell you. It's cheery.
Think about it, Caroline, think about it.
I didn't think we'd go this way.
Caroline Martin is on Idiot Bingo pretty much every week. Long may she reign. Now, I can only assume that everyone here are big fans of National Treasure Stephen Fry, right? Okay. We're big fans of Stephen on our show. Reload, please. And it's fair to say a man of his stature gets up to some incredible things on national television.
But the Wild West does supply some useful clues, as I only recently recalled while I was helping my cousin jack off a horse.
That's his cousin Jack, who is coming off of a horse. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Scott Mills, and this has been Creative Disruption. Thank you, guys. Thank you.